Despite winning just about every off-road title on offer, KTM isn't a brand to rest on its laurels, which is why the Austrian company has given its 2024 Enduro range perhaps the biggest overhaul in well over a decade. And I'm really excited to see if they've pulled it off. The 2024 KTM EXC Enduro range is new from the ground up, with both the 2-stroke and 4-stroke models getting extensive redesigns. In fact, KTM claims that over 95% of the components on the machines are new. The range includes 4 4-stroke models and 3 2-stroke models, with both platforms getting new engines, new frames, new suspension and new electronics. Notably, the 4-stroke models now feature a bunch of tech features including ride modes, traction control, launch control and a quick shifter for the first time on an enduro bike. But the model we're testing here is the 2-stroke 300 EXC, and while it doesn't get all the fancy tech features of the 4-stroke models, it does have a few tricks of its own, including an all-new throttle body fuel injection system. Replacing the previous transfer port injection system, the TBI system places the injectors in the throttle body, which apparently results in sharper response and better performance. In KTM's own words, it offers carburettor levels of power delivery. And like the outgoing TPI models, this new generation has an oil tank, which means there's no need for premix fuel. You simply fill the oil tank up, and when you go to the servo, you can fill up at the Bowser as normal. It's worth noting though that the motocross version of this bike still has premix, because motocross riders do prefer to mix their own fuel. The engine itself has also been redesigned, benefiting from an updated revalve case, a new airbox and electronic exhaust control, among other things. Also new is this black powder coated frame, which KTM says helps with rider feedback, energy absorption and high speed stability. The subframe is also new and is apparently shorter, more compact and more robust than the previous generation. KTM has also added a new WP Exact closed cartridge fork and an updated WP Explore PDS shock, the latter of which helps improve anti-squat behaviours of the chassis, ultimately improving traction on rough terrain and steep inclines. Both the fork and shock are easily adjustable for rebound and compression, while the shock is also adjustable for preload. Another cool feature of the new EXC range is what KTM calls the OCU, or the off-road control unit. Monitoring the electrical components, it sits under the seat and replaces the use of electronic fuses and relays. Each output is represented on the OCU as a red or green LED light, and in the event of an issue, each output is deactivated individually, allowing for easy troubleshooting while out on the trail. So what else do you need to know about the 2024 EXC range? Well, the bodywork is all new and the geometry has been optimised with help from the Red Bull KTM team to ensure great ergonomics. And the flat seat profile and high grip seat cover also help with rider movement and control. The 300 EXC also now has 2 selectable maps, however the map switch itself is an optional extra. And there is also no kickstart for 2024, just an electric start. Traditionally, dirt bikes don't change much from year to year, but this is generally an all-new motorcycle. And the big question is how the changes translate to the dirt, and there's only one way to find out. The first thing that comes to mind when riding the 300 EXC is how punchy it is off the bottom. While the benefits of TBI versus TPI are still up for debate, I personally found the new system to be an improvement, with an overall more versatile and user-friendly power curve. The new system also helps with slow speed work, making the chances of unwanted stalling far less likely, while the mid-range power delivery was excellent too. Perhaps the biggest improvement on the 2024 EXC range though is the new closed cartridge fork. The previous open cartridge system had its critics, and the new suspension addresses a lot of the issues it presented. On the new bike, the fork feels a lot firmer and there is little to no dive-in under brakes and less harshness on heavy landings. The rear PDS shock is also new and helps contribute to an overall solid package. It helps the bike feel planted and never kicks up on you on rough terrain. And the so-called anti-squat characteristics of the suspension and chassis are the real deal too. The bike maintains great traction on steep inclines, meaning less unwanted front wheel lift. The bike feels incredibly light and agile too, making it a world of fun in tight and technical terrain, while the ergonomics and overall ride position were spot on for my 6'1" frame. And I was particularly happy with the new and wider rally-style foot pegs. Perhaps my only complaint is that at nearly 19 grand, the new EXC is very expensive, and perhaps out of reach for many casual riders under the age of 30. but the price increase is somewhat justified by the significant improvements to the bike. Put simply, you're paying for a very impressive machine. The latest generation of KTM's iconic EXC 300 takes the humble two-stroke to a whole new level. It's fast, fun, and accessible even to the biggest of two-stroke skeptics. Is it a winner? Absolutely it is. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you also love the smell of two-stroke in the morning, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments below what you think of the 2024 EXC 300.